I'm Sharon Tazwell. Here's your Spectrum News in 90. In separate meetings Tuesday, House and Senate Democrats discussed President Biden's future as the party's presidential candidates. While a handful of Democrats remain divided over the president's bid, many Democrats are coming to Biden's defense, saying the focus needs to be on defeating Donald Trump.
Right now, President Biden is the nominee, and we support the Democratic nominee that will be Donald Trump.
Donald Trump returning to the campaign trail Tuesday. The former president is holding a rally at his flagship golf resort in the Miami suburb of Doral. Trump is nearing a deadline of his own to announce his running mates. However, the decision is still being worked out. Trump is expected to underscore his strong support in the battleground state. And Beryl continues to weaken as it moves inland after making landfall as a Category 1 hurricane in Texas. The storm knocked out power to nearly 3 million homes and businesses, killing at least 3 people in the Lone Star State.
I've also talked to Centerpoint multiple times, including yesterday. We are urging them to work as quickly as they can to restore the power in the safest, but in the quickest way they can.
Those are headlines. Here's your weather on the ones.
Hi there, I'm meteorologist Robert Santos. We continue to track the remnants of Beryl moving into the Midwest, the Great Lakes overnight, bringing heavy rainfall, concerns for flooding, and even a chance for some tornadoes moving into that area. Then Wednesday afternoon to the evening, it starts to move across upstate New York and the rest of New England out there. Okay, temperatures starting off like this on Wednesday morning into the 70s in New York, 60s in Topeka and St. Louis during the day. Look at how warm it is across much of the lower 48. The only places in the 70s, San Francisco, Milwaukee, and Columbus.
If the president declines to leave voluntarily, then he's going to be our nominee, and we have to make the best of a complicated situation.
I think that there are changes that people need to see to continue to feel comfortable.
The president and our team are convinced that the president should, in fact, be the nominee.
Democratic divisions over President Biden's political future front and center Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sharon Tazwell. Both House and Senate Democrats held separate meetings centered on the viability of Biden's candidacy. While many Democrats continue to support the president, a growing number of Democratic colleagues are calling on the president to step aside. The White House says Biden is committed to proving he is up for the job.
You're going to have some congressional members who feel differently. That is up to them, right? The president wants to continue. He's going to have those conversations. He's going to engage with congressional members. He's going to continue to do that as he has. That's not going to stop.
Spectrum's Daniel Grimes is in Washington with a look at who's all in for Biden and who's not.
President Biden so far appears to be weathering the storm, at least among fellow Democrats on Capitol Hill. After his poor debate against former President Donald Trump nearly 2 weeks ago, members of the Congressional Black Caucus said Tuesday they are solidly behind Biden.
Riding with Biden.
And one Democrat who had called on Biden to step down as the party's nominee in November seemed to fall in line behind his candidacy.
He has said he's going to remain in. He's our candidate, and we're all going to support him. At least I hope we're all going to support him.
The first Democrat to publicly call for Biden to step aside said he is still hoping for an alternative, but of course would back Biden if he runs again.
I'm going to support the nominee of my party. I'd certainly support President Biden, but I think we would be less endangered of a Trump presidency if we had a different candidate.
House and Senate Democrats held separate closed-door meetings Tuesday, their first full day back in Washington since Biden's ill-fated debate. With Biden mounting an all-out blitz to remain the party's nominee, Biden maintained a critical mass of support, but divisions were clear. Asked if House Democrats were on the same page after their nearly 2-hour meeting, Congressman Steve Cohen of Tennessee said, quote, "We are not even in the same book." Later in the day, after meeting with his members, the Senate's top Democrat reaffirmed his support for the president.
As I've said before, I'm with Joe.
Despite the expression of support among Democrats, the president is hardly out of the woods. The party will be watching the president closely as he hosts world leaders in Washington this week for the NATO summit. In Washington, Daniel Grimes, Spectrum News.
As for the former president, Donald Trump is set to host a campaign rally tonight in South Florida as the search for vice president nears an end. Our national political reporter Taylor Papalaris is on the ground there and joins us now. Taylor, tonight's rally comes as Democrats are divided over President Biden's re-election campaign. What can we expect to see tonight from Trump?
So let's look at, he said we're sold already.
Well, it'll be interesting, Sharon. The former president has spent the last 11 days away from the cameras. This is his first public campaign event since a post-debate rally he held way back on June 28th, the day after that debate that prompted all of those concerns about President Biden. So it'll be interesting to see if Trump leans into weighing in on Biden's age and acuity, because so far he hasn't much, because he's only 3.5 years younger. We did speak with a lot of folks here who told us they're concerned about Biden's age, and they don't share those same concerns for Trump. And there's been a lot of Republican members of Congress on the stage behind me talking about Trump and kind of showering him with praise. So it'll be interesting to listen into what he has to say.
Yeah, and Taylor, Florida Senator Marco Rubio is on the short list for Trump's running mate. He is expected to be there tonight. Are we expecting an announcement tonight? And if not, who else is the former president considering for the job?
His endorsement was the most important endorsement I could.
In terms of if we're expecting an announcement, it's a big to be determined, because for weeks the Trump campaign, even senior advisors to the former president, have said he'll decide when he wants to make that news public, and it could be today, it could have been a week or two ago, it could also be during the Republican National Convention next week. We believe he'll make that choice by next week, at least as the convention is unfolding, but it potentially could happen tonight. We're not sure if that will be Senator Marco Rubio. Another potential Florida prospect is Florida Congressman Byron Donalds. He spoke a bit earlier, so the public auditioning process seems to continue, and we'll have to see when the former president decides to make his pick official.
All right, Taylor Papalaris from Trump's campaign rally in Florida. Thanks. Work continues in Texas to restore power to millions after Beryl made landfall as a Category 1 hurricane. The situation poses a dangerous scenario for residents amid triple-digit temps. At least 8 storm-related deaths have been reported from the Caribbean islands to the U.S. Spectrum's Carla Redditt has the latest on urgent recovery efforts.
I went outside to look for it, and I saw it. It was coming.
Coming at him, a tornado fueled by Beryl's powerful winds in Benton, Louisiana, Monday.
It sounded like a train, like a big freight train was right on top of you.
Beryl roared into Texas Monday after a long and deadly trek through the Caribbean and Mexico in recent days.
It happened like super fast as I was going downstairs to check on my son. That's when I heard the big crack.
Haley Laredo's mother-in-law is among the multiple storm-related fatalities in Texas and Louisiana, killed when a tree crushed the Laredo's home in Houston.
It really had my heart racing because there was a lot of unknowns. I did not know his whereabouts.
Tom Webb's father, one of the lucky ones, narrowly escaping a similar fate when a tree smashed his home in Jasper County. Beryl's winds also causing widespread power outages, leaving millions of people across Texas sweltering
quickly as possible.
The city's mayor says the week's end. They're also now tracking post-tropical cyclone Beryl toward the Midwest and Ohio Valley, bringing with it the threat of tornadoes and heavy rain in the hours ahead. Carla Redditt, Spectrum News.
World leaders are discussing pressing issues at the NATO summit in Washington, D.C. this week, just ahead. What President Biden is doing to reassure allies he's up for another 4 years in office.
Spectrum News Plus. News from a new perspective, and empowering communities across the nation. With balanced reporting, providing real context and in-depth coverage 24 hours a day.
Here's a look at your forecast across the country.
Local stories, connecting communities. We are Spectrum News Plus. Streaming now on the Spectrum News app and free with your Spectrum subscription.
At Spectrum, we know that internet is a vital tool to help you fulfill your dreams.
My dream is to become a video game developer.
My dream is to get my online college degree. That's why Spectrum has affordable solutions to keep you connected. At Spectrum, we are committed to delivering reliable, affordable internet and unlimited mobile to keep you connected to what matters most to you.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Parts of the central U.S. feeling warm, muggy, and seeing some heavy rainfall at times. Hi there, I'm meteorologist Robert Santos, and it's all part of this tropical moisture, the remnants, basically, of Beryl, still making its move, coming across the Ohio Valley. You can see here, as it starts to move into the north, basically towards the northeast, by Wednesday, it's going to be across the Great Lakes, and then late Wednesday afternoon, evening, and then into Thursday, that area of low pressure is going to head up into Canada, but its effects will certainly still be felt in upstate New York and the rest of the New England states. In fact, let's take a look at the track of this, and you'll see the severe weather outlook Tuesday was enhanced right around here because of where the remnants were expected to be, and that's going to start to move into the northeast as the system starts to move in that direction. So there it is. This is what we're expecting here. So here we are, Wednesday, 6 hours, and the rest of New England stays down into Thursday before that finally moves on out of there. But along with that, it's certainly going to feel warm and muggy, and we're going to get some heavy rainfall here. Areas in red showing anywhere from 2 to 4 inches estimated to fall in all of these areas here. Now, Cincinnati, Ohio, one more day of some scattered showers. Because of that, so we're looking at Wednesday for that. Thursday, Friday, we start to dry out. We get some sunshine, but temperatures do start to warm up. So which do you prefer, the heat up or a little bit of the tropical moisture with some of that rain coming across? Syracuse, New York, we're looking at the rain and the thunderstorms getting you Wednesday, yes, and then Thursday, Friday, drier, but look at Friday, we go to 85 degrees. Charleston, South Carolina, we'll have 2 days in the 90s before those temperatures drop into the 80s. Now, out in the Southwest, we're not seeing as many months.
If you're just joining us, here's what you need to know. Congressional Democrats are pledging support for President Biden Tuesday after meetings behind closed doors to discuss the future of his candidacy. The president set to hold a news conference Thursday as he tries to prove he's fit for another 4 years in office. Meantime, Donald Trump will host a campaign rally tonight in South Florida as the search for a vice presidential candidate nears an end. State Senator Marco Rubio, who is a contender for the VP role, will also attend the event. The rally will take place at Trump's flagship golf resort near Miami. Urgent work continues in Texas to restore power to millions of one hurricane. Houston's mayor says thousands of crews are mobilizing as people deal with sweltering heat following the power outages. And that's what you need to know.